As a journalist, I'm used to tell stories. So when I think about Eisenhower Exchange Fellowship, I think about a patchwork of stories. So imagine it being at no man's land is the border between Pakistan and Afghanistan, where tribal leaders are. And I was there with a Pakistani family that was introduced to me by a Pakistani fellow. In fact, Shahid Mahmoud and his wife invited me to spend a month in Pakistan, and I went from south to north, meeting everybody and really getting to know the country because he thought that it was important for me to really explore Pakistan and to know the people and not to have the idea of Pakistan that I see in the media. Another story, I remember being in Germany for one of the Eisenhower Exchange Fellowships conference, and Kathy Cable, who used to be at Eisenhower at the time, said to me, "You have to meet someone. I need to introduce you to someone." And we were at Gerhard Schroeder, the Chancellor. We just had a photo op with him, and we were visiting his house. And she introduced me to Elena Kolovskaya, who is a Russian fellow from St. Petersburg. And we became like the best friends. So we meet every year, no matter what. I know her kid, she stays in my place. No matter where we are, we meet each other. And one day, Lena told me, "Oh, you know, I tell you things that I don't tell anybody, not even in my country." So rewind the tape. I'm a Brazilian fellow. I did the fellowship in '96. I'm a journalist. When I did the fellowship, I was the foreign editor for TV Globo. TV Globo is the major network in Brazil, the fourth network in the world. And I remember being there for 2 months. And at some point, towards the end of the fellowship, I was talking to Adrian Bazora, who was the president at the time. And he was telling, and I was saying to him, you know, in this thing about being a leader, and he said to me, you know, one day you're going to realize that. I was 28 at the time. In 2001, I was the head of TV Globo in New York, and 9/11 happens. And I remember on that day, I thought about Adrian. I only slept 30 minutes on 9/11, and I remember at some point in the day that everybody in the newsroom needed someone to lead them, and was looking at me. And I remember, perhaps what Adrian said to me, that's what's happening now. And this was really important. In Globo, being the head of the office, sometimes I would call my office in Brazil and ask if that's the right thing to do. And on that day, I didn't ask anything. I just did it, what I thought was important to do. I changed my professional life several times, at least 3 times. And I used to work for Globo for 15 years. Then I decided to quit when I was in New York to do a film, a documentary about Sergio Vieira de Mello. And this was a huge change. And then again, I did another change, and I came to Portugal. And now I'm the editor-in-chief of Público, the online. Público is one of the main daily newspapers in Portugal and the leading newspaper online. Doing so many changes and different things in my professional life, when I thought about it, Eisenhower Exchange Fellowship gave me strength to follow my dreams. It's funny to think that when I did my fellowship, I was studying and investigating the impact of the new technologies in the media. And we were in '96. And today, I'm leading like a team in an online operation in a digital world. When I think about Eisenhower Exchange Fellowships, I think about friends, about experiences, about leadership, and about how lonely it is to be a leader at some point, because you have to make the decisions, and when you make the decisions, you're alone. No matter how many people you talk to, it's the decision that you make, and you have to take the risks. And being part of that network really helps for you to believe in what you're doing. For someone who tells stories, EF is part now of my story.